Tonight on NewsVision, just one night after both student government tickets were on trial for campaign violations, student government will be holding candidate debates tonight. We'll take you there live. Plus, 2 years after the Parkland school tragedy, a documentary about the shooting and its aftermath is coming to theaters. Also, the Miami Hurricanes baseball team steps up to bat tomorrow night, opening their season against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, we were really trying to just get back to where we belong this year. We've been back to somewhat where we belong. We're just trying to take that next step to be, the best team in the country like we used to be.
We'll go live from Mark Lake Field to give you a preview of the new Canes season. And later on, as if Miami was not already in love with croquetas, just wait to see what one restaurant is doing with this fried snack for Valentine's Day.
It's a nice idea, it's very unique, and it celebrates a holiday for lovers.
All those stories and a lot more on tonight's show. NewsVision starts right now.
First tonight on NewsVision, controversy comes to student government elections. The two tickets running both went to trial last night for alleged campaign rule violations. Good evening and welcome to NewsVision. I'm Maya Broadwater.
And I'm Alexa Eckenbrecker. Thanks for joining us. While they're dealing with fallout from last night's trial, both tickets are getting ready for tonight's debate. UMTV reporter Claire O'Connor is at The Rock, where that debate is set to get started in just a few minutes. Claire, what's going on?
Things are about to get started here at 7:30. There are two tickets running, All In headed by Abigail Adelke and Level Up led by Randy Fitzgerald. Andreas Escandone is running for president independently. And while there's a lot of excitement and nervousness about tonight, it comes after a tough night last night when both tickets went to trial for alleged rules violation. Student government held a trial late last night for election code violations. Both All In and Level Up, campaigning for student government executive positions, were called by the Chief Justice for reposting social media posts.
It's a government of students in college. We're taking ourselves way too seriously for something this little.
According to the University of Miami student government website, both parties violated Section 5.13, reposting campaign material.
We've been following the elections codes to the best of our due diligence and understanding. We've gone the extra mile to communicate with the elections codes to submit everything that we've felt that was sufficient to submit.
The key evidence in the trial included screenshots of unapproved campaign reposts and the Instagram story of both parties. The evidence was brought to light by the chair of the elections committee.
Didn't sign any documents at all saying that we understood the codes or that we were given full understanding of it. So we didn't sign any papers for that either, so they had no hard evidence.
I'm standing outside the Shalala Center where the trial just ended and both teams were called to testify.
There were some of our colleagues from student government from the Supreme Court. We had our witness from the Elections Commission there to speak to our diligence and compliance with the elections codes, and they conducted their trial.
Both parties pled liable to the charges, and Level Up was given a 14-point violation and All In was given a 15-point violation, just 5 points shy of disqualification.
We're leaving the trial with a huge infraction on our campaign that's going to put a lot of strain and stress on us for the duration of the campaign now. So we're just very disappointed with how it went, and we think it's really sad that this is what came out of an org that we've given so much time to.
You still have time to come out to tonight's debate, which begins in a few minutes at 7:30. Voting starts next week, beginning on Monday. You can vote on Engage. Voting will end next Thursday, and we'll cover that right here on NewsVision next week. Live at The Rock for UMTV, I'm Claire O'Connor. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Claire. And speaking of elections, this upcoming Tuesday, February 18th at 5 p.m. is a deadline to register for the Democratic presidential primary in Florida. Since Florida is a closed primary state, you must be registered as a Democrat to vote in the Democratic Party. Student initiative called Get Out the Vote will be tabling Tuesday from 11 to 2 in the Breezeway to help you register. If you're eligible to vote, you can register even if you're not a Florida resident.
Tomorrow marks the 2-year anniversary since the mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. 17 people died on that day. Since then, the survivors had to move forward with homework, basketball games, prom, and graduation while remembering and honoring the victims. A new documentary about the shooting and its aftermath premiered yesterday on what was called a day of conversation.
All I kept thinking in my head was, please be safe, please be safe.
He wasn't. 17 people were killed in the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting. Their survivors tell their stories as they move forward in the documentary After Parkland.
I'm here marching for my boyfriend, Joaquin Oliver.
You have no idea what it feels to get back home and not having your son here. Our main goal here, before anything, is to show who Joaquin is.
Journalists Jake Lefferman and Emily Taguchi went to Parkland to cover the shooting, then stayed.
As soon as we started meeting with families and meeting with students, we were struck by that so many were able to really articulate their experiences and seemed to understand why it was important for them to share their stories.
Imagine getting in a plane crash, surviving, and getting on the same plane every day where the one issue that caused it isn't fixed.
The directors say After Parkland is not an advocacy documentary.
We want it to be much more observational and to tell the story about what it looks like to wake up that next day.
For Joaquin's parents, Manuel and Patricia, waking up each day means telling his story.
We need to be reminders. Don't feel bad about us. Feel bad about yourself not being able to do something to prevent this from happening.
When politicians send their thoughts and prayers with no action, we say no more.
The documentary screened in Fort Lauderdale yesterday. There are several memorial events set for tomorrow, including a moment of silence and a day of service at Stoneman Douglas High School.
The coronavirus outbreak has caused a lot of concern worldwide. The outbreak started in China in December and has so far claimed the lives of more than 1,300 people. There are over 60,000 cases of coronavirus around the world. So far, 15 people in the United States have tested positive for the virus. An American citizen died a few days ago from coronavirus in the United States. Earlier today, I got the chance to talk about coronavirus with UMTV medical expert, Dr. Sarah Fraser. Hello, welcome for coming, Dr. Sarah Fraser.
Thank you.
So in light of all the news that we have around the world, especially in China with the coronavirus, can you tell us what are the recent updates?
Sure. So earlier this week on Tuesday, the coronavirus got a new name called COVID-19, co-corona VI virus disease, and first detected in 2019. We're seeing that the number of cases are increasing and the number of deaths are too. Earlier today, it was reported that over 1,300 people have died from COVID-19 so far.
And the coronavirus, COVID-19, as you said, has been receiving a lot of attention in the media, but we also know that influenza is a major health risk. Can you talk about some of the similarities and differences?
Sure. So both infections are viruses and the symptoms can be similar as well. Cough, fever, shortness of breath. But with influenza, we have a vaccine for it. With COVID-19, there is no vaccine yet. With influenza, we know there is a seasonality to it. We know that fairly soon the number of cases will start to decline. But with COVID-19, since it's new, we simply don't have that information yet. But influenza has a much higher number of deaths. For example, in 2017-2018, the Center for Disease Control reported that over 61,000 people in the United States alone died due to the flu.
And is it justifiable that the coronavirus is getting such a large amount of media attention?
I think that it is. It is a global health emergency, so I think it deserves the attention that it is getting. The more worrisome part is the misinformation that is out there. So on social media, you might read that garlic can cure this, that bleach can cure this, or that it's an act of bioterrorism, and there is no evidence at all to back up those claims. But there are some efforts being made to combat that sort of misinformation. When I was on Instagram this morning and I typed in #coronavirus, it actually directed me to a reliable website, that of the Center for Disease Control.
Interesting. And what would you say the risks are for the coronavirus spreading to the United States?
I think the risk would be relatively low. So far, there have been 15 proven cases of COVID-19 in the US. So the risk of actually getting the flu is quite a bit higher. However, I think we can use this as an opportunity to say, What can we do to prevent infectious diseases more generally? Hand washing, cough hygiene, so coughing into the elbow, not into the hand, wearing masks if you're feeling any sort of respiratory symptoms, and finally, it's not too late to get the flu shot.
Thank you for your information and thank you for your time. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, guys. In other news, a proposal that would allow college athletes to make money off their image and likeness is moving to the Florida House of Representatives. Supporters of the bill say it should pass because many college athletes get partial scholarships or none at all. And according to Forbes, the average Division I athlete devotes about 40 hours a week to their sport. But opponents of the bill say that allowing athletes to market themselves could cause legal issues between the colleges and the sponsors they have. Yet others worry that it would teach athletes to put themselves above the sport that they are a part of.
I definitely think they should get recompensated. 40 hours?
I completely agree. That takes up so much time, and the sport is obviously very important to them.
Of course. And coming up on NewsVision, we'll take you to one special cafe not far from campus where you can get coffee, a pastry, and a Forever Friend.
And later on,
I'm Danny Travis, and next on NewsVision, find out what Dos Coquetas is doing special for your special someone on Valentine's Day.
Dumped by text is harsh. Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I bought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Thanks for staying with NewsVision. Not far from here, one woman has made it her mission to provide South Beach residents and visitors with something special to do while supporting a special cause. Last week, I got her a chance to visit her unique business.
Miami Beach, this cafe serves a delectable selection of specialty baked sweets and savory snacks such as vegan banana nut bread and tater tots that all go well with the locally roasted coffee, teas, and freshly squeezed OJ.
There's something really special about the cafe. We do a lot of things not necessarily a traditional cafe style. We really put a lot of care into what we serve.
But still, this is not your typical coffee shop. It is only part cafe, as the other part is adoption center for cats.
And this is why I built the Cat Cafe. It's to be a giant foster home for the rescued adoptable cats from Miami Beach. This is a place where people come and hang out with the locals, just the feline, four-legged variety of locals.
According to the Humane Society of Greater Miami and other volunteer organizations, there is an astounding number of community cats in Miami-Dade County.
In Miami Beach, there are over 100,000 cats living on the streets, but at least here, 30 get to live in paradise.
The international TNR program that you might hear about is adopt the stray cats, take them back to a mobile veterinary clinic, have them spayed, neutered, vaccinated, and ear-tipped. And then for the most part, they were all put back where they were found.
The other cats, the ones that show potential to be happy living with humans, are carefully socialized, given additional veterinary care, and are taken to the cafe. After spending time with a particular cat, a potential adopter can then begin the careful adoption process.
We believe that cats pick us as much as we pick them, so there needs to be a connection established. You can't just stand at the window and say, oh, I like that cute little gray one over there, and walk away with it.
Since the Cat Cafe opened in 2018, more than 100 cats have been adopted. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Alexa Eckenbrecker.
It has been so hot lately.
I know, right? I am really hoping for a cold front soon.
Well, let's see what our weather forecaster, Jared Maloney, has to say.
Yeah, we've been in a sauna recently, and today's really been the worst of it. Even now in the evening, it's still 79 degrees. Feels like 82. You see that dew point there in the 70s, and that is what's really been making it feel so so here. I mean, and also on top of that, we have had some near record high temperatures here. Doesn't say anything here, but we're into like the we had temperatures up into the mid 80s, which were pretty close to some record highs. So let's head off and see what's happening in the future. We've got our national satellite radar, and you'll notice on the East Coast, you see a bunch of precipitation there, and that is associated. We got an area of low pressure over the Northeast, and yes, there is a cold front associated with that down that whole line of precipitation. And let's take a look at Florida here. You see a couple of storms starting to kick up, but that cold front's going to move through. It's actually going to sort of die off, so there's going to be a little bit of rain, but not that much of a temperature drop, sadly. So let's take a look at our future cast for the timing for Valentine's Day. As of now, there's not too much going on, just a couple of showers tonight and tomorrow morning. But as we head into Friday afternoon, we're going to have a little bit more coverage, but it won't be too much of a nuisance. If you have a rooftop date, you might want to keep an eye on it, but other than that, you'll be fine. All right, and then as we head into Saturday, there will be just more of the same, and that'll taper off as we get into Saturday evening. For tonight's forecast, it's going to be pretty warm, 71 degrees, a few clouds, nothing too out of the ordinary. Tomorrow, 83, those afternoon showers we talked about, but it's still going to be a pretty solid day overall. And into our 7-day forecast, Friday, Saturday will be our chances of precipitation. And we do have a slight drop of the cold front, but it's not too much. We're still going to be into the upper 70s, lower 80s, high dew points. But it'll be quite beautiful as we head through the rest of the week. Alexa, Maya, back to you.
Thank you, Jared. This week, 2 student organizations joined forces to throw a special event on the lakeside patio.
It involved 2 of everyone's favorite activities, listening to music and shopping. The event was called Thrift and Tunes. The hosts were the university's radio station, WVUM, and the student organization, You Thrift. The event was in honor of WVUM's 52nd birthday. While guests listened to alternative music, they thrift shop for clothes, shoes, and even books.
You Thrift is a free pop-up thrift swap, and how it works is you could pick up one item completely free without having to donate anything. If you donate items, then you could pick up the same amount that you donate plus one. We love showing the glamour and the good side of thrifting.
Find You Thrift at the Farmers Market every Wednesday from 9:30 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon.
I will definitely be stopping by there at the Farmers Market. You Thrift seems like a wonderful organization. And coming up, team coverage of sports live from the place to be this spring season, Mark Lightfield.
That's right, guys. Baseball is gearing up for their season opener against Rutgers right here tomorrow night.
And there's a lot of hype for both critics and fans. We'll break that down up next.
Hey, Simon, what do people wear? Clothes. That's right. So it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're going to take the laces, we're going to cross them over, we're going to turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Yeah, salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday,
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
Welcome to the Sports. I'm Maxwell Trink.
And I'm Grace Smith, and it is baseball season. Now, the Hurricanes are getting ready for their season opener tomorrow night right here at Mark Light Field, and there is a lot of excitement surrounding this team.
Yeah, as the Metro passes by, their top 10 consensus team when it comes to Division I baseball, but a bit of an injury bug for the Canes heading into the season. Starting shortstop Freddie Zamora will be out for the entire 2020 season dealing with a knee injury, so a little bit of a hole in that lineup.
It is unfortunate, but UM still has some key pieces like sophomore captain Adrian Del Castillo and Saturday starter Chris McMahon, and they are so excited for this season.
This is where we want to be. If you're going to play at Miami and I want to coach at a program like I was used to playing for and certainly coaching with for many years, Miami should be a team that's ranked in the top 10 and has a chance to go to Omaha and win it every year.
Yeah, we were really trying to just get back to where we belong this year. We've been back to somewhat where we belong. We're just trying to take that next step to be, the best team in the country like we used to be.
All this preseason talk, it doesn't really mean much. So yeah, it feels good knowing that people respect us going into the season, but we just have to go out there and prove ourselves so that we can have those same accolades postseason, because that's when it really matters.
Right here at Mark Light Field, they're going to be taking on Rutgers. That's the Hurricanes, of course, a big team with a big man on the bump. That'll be Brian Van Bell, the JUCO transfer, a big guy, and of course, a big game for him.
Yeah, and this may be the first official season of the Canes season for baseball, but fans got to see the team take the field last Saturday.
And as our reporter David Perez explains, this game is for the fans.
It's baseball night for the first time this year at Mark Light Field, but fastballs and homers aren't what caught young Miami fan Thomas Allaire's attention. Tonight was about meeting his heroes.
Just got my poster signed by a lot of the Hurricane players, and I'm excited that I didn't have a tournament this weekend so we can come out.
Allaire and his dad drove 2 hours to watch the Canes because Thomas dreams of playing for the U. After all, the Canes are literally ingrained in his name.
Well, I wanted to name him Sebastian after the mascot. His mom wouldn't let him.
My middle name is Kane. He named me after the Hurricanes. It's spelled C-A-N-E.
A name that says it all.
This means everything. I don't even know how to explain it. Everything I grew up loving and watching, I just pass it along to him, and he just loves every moment of it.
Allaire says he gets a feeling in this ballpark unlike any other. And with today's Fan Fest and Alumni game, that feeling of Miami tradition comes home.
The tradition's incredible. I never really thought about that as a young kid playing here, that I'd be bringing my son here one day, but now it's kind of all coming full circle for me.
Renee Guerra. Passing down Miami tradition through the generations. This season's opening night was about a feeling of family.
And passing along the same traditions that my family and my uncles passed along with me, and when he gets older, he can bring his kids.
For UMTV, I'm David Perez reporting.
Wow, what an incredible opportunity for those fans, and it looks like we can already put a win in the, that column for the Canes.
Well, Grace, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. The Canes really need that win against Rutgers. Throughout this entire series, it's going to be a huge series and definitely the right way to step on to the season.
It's going to be really exciting. Lots of giveaways all throughout the season. There's going to be loud fans in the stand, even loud people out here on the streets. But that's all we have from Mark Light Field, live right here. I'm Grace Smith.
I'm Maxwell Trink, and now let's send it back to the studio.
Thank you, Grace and Maxwell.
University of Miami's women's teams are also looking to strong spring seasons, and they set the tone by honoring some of the top Canes and celebrating women's athletics. The 6th annual celebration of women's sports recognizes standout athletes as well as their accomplishments in the classroom and the community. Among those honored were NCAA track and field champion Michelle Atherley and tennis singles champion Estela Perez Somariba.
Really something special to be a part of in general for being a University of Miami athlete, and it's special to be recognized among my teammates and among the female athletes here that compete with me, that go through the similar struggles.
With tennis already off to a strong start and basketball gearing up in the conference play, there may be many more athletes to honor at next year's event.
I think it's a great event to honor the women in athletics.
Yes, of course. Up next on NewsVision, a tasty staple of South Florida may just be the savory, not sweet treat to get your sweetheart this Valentine's Day.
There. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Alexa, have you bought all your holiday gifts yet?
I actually have. I've been on top of it this year.
That's great, but if you're still procrastinating and have not bought your Valentine anything yet, well, don't worry, we have you covered.
Our reporter Danny Travis found a unique and tasty idea that you can give to your sweetheart. And nope, it's not candy.
Croquetas, a small bread-crumbed fried food roll, are a Miami staple that you can have on literally every corner of the city. But Dos Croquetas is not just any restaurant serving this delicious treat. It is the first croqueta bar in Miami. Dos Croquetas was created 3 years ago by Alec Fernandez, starting as a pop-up in a commercial kitchen in Doral.
And I just kept hearing people say Dos Croquetas or Dame Dos Croquetas en la colada. And I was like, man, like people say Dos Croquetas like as often as they Google.
When the bar opened, Fernandez was making 300 croquetas. Now, he says he makes more than 3,000.
Just to prove the concept, are people willing to pay a little bit more for croquetas? Are people willing to try different type of croquetas? Because everything out there was just like ham, chicken, or cheese, and we were trying to do something a little different.
Croqueta bowls and sandwiches are some of the different items on the menu here. In honor of Valentine's Day, the restaurant is offering a very special something for your very special someone.
It's Valentine's week, and here at Dos Croquetas, they've created the perfect lovers pack that has 6 heart-shaped croquetas inside, guaranteed to put a smile on your lover's face. Let's go inside and see what people think.
I haven't seen them, but they sound great. I think they're cute. I'd take one.
I think that is very Miami and sweet in a Miami way.
It's a nice idea. It's very unique, and it celebrates a holiday for lovers.
The Lovers Pack only costs $10 to make your lover's day. Fernandez said he currently has over 1,000 orders for these special treats, but predicts over the next few days leading up to Valentine's Day, he'll have over 2,000.
To all those looking for the best Valentine's gift, nothing says I love you more than delicious heart-shaped croquetas.
Most people would find it very hard to disagree. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Danny Travis.
You know, I have to say, guys, those look amazing.
I know, I wouldn't mind getting that for Valentine's Day.
I can second that. Well, that's all for NewsVision tonight. Thanks for watching.
Be sure to tune in next Thursday for another edition of NewsVision. Have a great Valentine's Day. Good night.